Hey Kings, welcome back to the Augustus Maximus channel and back to the world of Fallout New Vegas, playing the mod for the Enclave, playing as the Enclave, and yeah, we are supposed to, let me just quickly check, yep, enter the EPA labs and look for some Chinese tech that was supposedly left behind. At least that's what the good general told us last time. So I suppose we should be entering that facility and looking for all that stuff. And actually, I checked on it on the map, and it's right by the town. It was like Bonnie Springs or something, where essentially the fiends, I think the fiends or the vipers are located right there, and wouldn't you know it, a nice old road just from Good Springs leads right over to that territory. Let me just heal up a tiny bit. Lots of alcohol with me, mostly because I'm running with Cass, and she actually negates all the debuffs of alcohol, so I'm just running with a lot of whiskey and beer and scotch and everything like that, just in case I ever need it. And Cass actually does give you a bit of a buff if you chug a lot of whiskey or chug whiskey. She does give you the +1 damage threshold, which I'm not entirely sure how it's calculated, if it like negates a certain percentage of the damage dealt to you as it did in Fallout 3, or if that's in this game. But I think in Fallout 3 it negated percentages, and in this game it negates just a certain amount of damage. It's a little bit strange. I'm not entirely sure how the damage threshold, damage resistance works in this game, but I know there's an item that does give you damage resistance, but it's basically the same thing that it does in Fallout 3, where it negates a certain percentage, even in Fallout New Vegas. But, so that's why I'm bringing a lot of whiskey and alcohol with me, because, hey, if you ever need carry capacity or charisma or anything like that, you can just down a few bottles and, well, you'll be right as rain. But yeah, of course, that's one thing about this road, there's a lot of cazadors, and cazadors are probably the most annoying enemy creature in the entirety of the Fallout, well, all of the Fallout games, at least the more recent, well, the ones made after Bethesda acquired the IP, so after Fallout 3. I think cazadors are probably the most annoying, but actually in Fallout 4, I really dislike the enemies that just burrow, and that's like 70% of the enemy creatures. They just burrow. That's so annoying because they suddenly just teleport behind you, and even though you're like half the map away, they just teleport behind you and start attacking you. And that's I suppose it's, you know, meant to increase damage, don't you? Okay, that one actually got in a hit on me, but I should have an item that actually negates poison. Yep, there we go. Snakeable tourniquet, or snakebite tourniquet, more rather. So I think I have another one just in case there are more cazadors, but we should be able to just smash them. By the way, the weapon that I'm using is the FAMAS Guyat or something like that. It's an American weapon, so it doesn't completely fit into the Enclave lore, but I really like the weapon, and it's a NATO weapon after all. So maybe maybe some of the French weaponry went into United States before 2077 was more of an experimental design, let's say, and then somehow it ended up in the hands of the Enclave or something like that. You know, it makes sense. It's a good weapon, it's a cool weapon, and just running around with an M4 all day or just plasma laser weapons isn't actually all that pleasant, because, well, it's just lots of lag here. That's probably because it's loading in a new area or something. There's actually a Deathclaw there. Now that's curious. A Deathclaw here? I don't remember there being a Deathclaw. And when there's one Deathclaw, there are probably more Deathclaws in the area. That's just how Fallout New Vegas works. There's a lot of vipers there, so I guess we should purge them as well. Well, let's get to it, because I really don't want to run into any vipers, possibly after the mission. If you were like running away from Deathclaws or something like that, vipers is the last thing I need. There we go, the vipers have been successfully purged, and yeah, we're just about ready to head into the EPA lab facility, Gonna get my shotgun out because it's a close quarters thing, and ARs aren't actually the best thing you can have when you're entering into a close quarter sort of area. Let's just drop down a save because we're playing Fallout New Vegas, and well, the game likes to crash here and there, so let's try and avoid that. Let's try and... This actually looks rather nice, but a bit too dark. Again, a lot of dark areas within these Enclave mods. Same thing in the Fallout 4 mod we just played not too long ago. A lot of dark areas. I suppose it's... Yep. Well, I suppose it's because they do send you across a lot of like abandoned facilities, so it makes sense that they would be dark. But I mean, some of the lights are working, some of them are not. It'd be interesting to see how exactly. Oh, okay, empty. Okay, so this is just basically just trash. Okay, it'd be interesting to see how exactly those lights are working. And that's just a copied, that's just a copied asset from the doctor's. Okay, interesting chamber you have here. Probably some. Well, they did say the general did say they were doing some. Well, some tests here of the more nefarious kind. So let's actually, yep, there we go. More booze to drink my worries away. If we need something like that, if we ever run out of carrying capacity, we can just use that. Because that's actually one of the, well, there's sort of a threshold as to the need of actually carrying all of this booze. But if we ever need it, it's right there, and because we get no debuffs and because we don't get addicted to it at all, it's nice. And I do have a lot of fixer even if we do, so that should be nice. So it should be fairly easy to fix with fixer. A lot of nice areas here. It's a bit of a strange thing to have beds right next to your test chambers. I'm not entirely sure how that works, but okay. So this is the room overlooking the test chambers, or the singular chamber for testing that this entire facility has. Okay, so that should be interesting. But I gotta say, this area looks actually rather nice. It's hard to believe that this is actually just Fallout New Vegas. And it might be because I have like, I don't know, maybe like 2 or 3 visual enhancement mods on, but they shouldn't affect really the look of... okay, so what are we supposed to do here? Oh, okay. I suppose this is sort of like airlock thing. Okay, so we have to open the airlock. This is kind of pointless. It does seem like this would be just to make you wait a little bit longer, maybe just to load in the area. Actually, that's kind of smart, just, you know, so the game doesn't crash immediately, because it does seem like the game would crash from something like this. But there we go. Yeah, there we go. We're going in. So I'm running a few visual enhancement mods, but I don't think they should affect this area that much, because a lot of it is just custom things. So they actually just made this facility look this nice, and that's rather impressive for a mod that's not exactly the newest. Some of the like newer mods as well, they don't look that great. So this is quite a nice looking area, I gotta say. So yeah, I suppose we're just supposed to fiddle with something here. A lot of scorpion poison. Let's hope we don't drink that on accident. But I suppose even if we did, we just, I don't know, drink an anti-venom or something. Okay, that sort of spooked me. And there's a lot of like ghoulish noises in the background. I suppose this is supposed to be like a really scary segment, like, oh, what's happened here? I hit a lot of ghouls and everything like that. But well, until the radar says there are enemies nearby, and unless our companions start talking about enemies, then there are actually no enemies nearby. It's just that's just how the game works. It's nice that the developers try to make you like spooked and stuff, but yeah, this is it's a Fallout game. It's Fallout New Vegas. This isn't a horror game. There's like, even if death claws were to spawn here, we'd probably just blast it away with VATS. I mean, it's just a Fallout game. It's not that spooky. Even Fallout 1 and 2, well, mostly Fallout 1, well, it did have like a sufficiently scary atmosphere. Especially the first death claw you were supposed to face. That one was kind of like nerve-wracking. It was mostly nerve-wracking, not because of the atmosphere or because you know, you were left alone with the Deathclaw. It was mostly because, yeah, am I prepared enough for this? Because that's a boss encounter. That's how you get a, you know, face these things. It's an RPG, an action RPG at that, a first-person action RPG at that. So, it's not like it's a horror game. But I guess we're supposed to do this. Yeah, the EPS server, and we should, yeah, unlock Dr. Oll's terminal so we can proceed further. Those what are those called? Those enemies called? I think they were in the Fallout 1 and 2 games. I think so. I do think so. Maybe they were a part of the Master's army. I really don't remember much about Fallout 1 and 2. It was like, it's been ages since I've ever played anything from those times. It's kind of a pain. It's kind of a shame because those games are really good, but it's also kind of a pain to make them try and run on modern systems and just not to try and pull your hair out with how slow those games can be. However, it is sort of convenient, or not convenient. It is sort of nice just how good those games are in just perspective when it comes to like Fallout 3, New Vegas, or Fallout 4. I mean, you could argue that Fallout New Vegas is technically better than those games, but I mean, it's a different game. It depends on whether you like sort of a more linear main story, which is Fallout 1 and 2. Those main stories are linear. The main sort of role-playing aspect comes from the side missions. Requires key. We'll still not need to have to. I suppose we have to go to the terminal. What a not exactly a maze, but because all the rooms, all the doors, everything looks exactly the same. I suppose it is supposed to be a facility, but within the science facilities, I'll give you a big surprise. They do actually have sort of labels and stuff like that, so you actually know where you're going. I know, yeah, a big surprise, because I mean, imagine you're a new recruit in this sort of facility, you'd get lost in 5 seconds. But yeah, that just leads here, and nothing more to explore. So let's go. Let's head down to the what, bio research labs or something like that. Yeah, biosurgery. So yeah, it sort of depends whether you like. Okay, service rifle, lots of rounds. That means there are probably going to be a lot of enemies around here, and well, that's kind of interesting. I mean, we do have our shotgun ready, so if anyone tries to, okay. Doors locked, so I suppose the ghouls are locked behind those doors, and they're making a lot of noise, and we could have heard them through the ventilation shaft or something like that. That's why, you know, all those spooky noises were running through. Let's turn on the let's turn off the main source of power, and yeah, immediately can sense the radar is picking up enemies. So this is where, yeah, there we go, there are the ghouls. Should make relatively easy work of them. They look kind of interesting though, a little bit different from like feral ghouls or like regular ghouls. But I suppose these ghouls are a bit different because they were subject to a lot of experimentation, so maybe their genetic material, genetics is a bit messed up, and oh, a flamer, that's nice. So I suppose that's the reason why they look a little bit, yep, environmental ghoul. Now that's an interesting one. Possibly they were trying to make them blend into, or experimenting on like environmental, I don't know, like blending options or something. I suppose that's kind of a cool thing to research, but not exactly when it comes to like human research. That's kind of messed up. But you know, this is the Fallout universe, and it wouldn't be the last thing that was messed up about the Fallout universe, that's for sure. But onwards we go, and there we go. Environmental ghoul immediately dismembered. I suppose there's gonna be a lot of them here. That's, you know, this is when you see that the difficulty of the mod starts to ramp up. I mean, this is the second mission that they've sent us on, and immediately you can see there's like, you know, 50 ghouls that you have to clear out. I mean, it's not like it's any serious danger, but you would imagine that if you were to go alone into this sort of environment, I mean, first, if you didn't know, you know, this is just a Fallout game, and you genuinely went around getting spooked, that would be terrible. And then they throw like 50 ghouls at you, and if you're not properly equipped and prepared for this sort of stuff, then you'd get swarmed easily. Or for example, if you're playing like a sniper character, this sort of environment really isn't for you. Unless you have, I mean, if you were to have, like, I don't know, a 50 cal or an anti-material rifle, sure, you'd clean them out easily. But at what cost? Because those bullets aren't exactly cheap, so you do have to have a whole variety, a big variety of equipment at the ready to properly deal with the situation. And I guess nothing else here, so I suppose we're supposed to head into the caves and find the hidden general, or the hidden Chinese agent guy with the stealth armor. But yeah, before that, more ghouls, and luckily I did level up a whole bunch of the shotgun perks, or gained a whole bunch of the shotgun perks that you're supposed to get, like, and stay back, and then shotgun surgeon, and I do have a mod that gives you just more perks to choose from, so I do have like shotgun Shelly and stuff like that, which gives you just more shotgun rounds and makes you a little bit more efficient with shotguns, I do think. I'm not entirely sure, don't remember exactly, but we do have all the shotgun perks. And that's actually quite good because, well, these, there we go, you know. If they sneak up on you like that and you have a hunting rifle, sometimes the engine of Fallout New Vegas, which is the same engine Fallout 3 runs on, if you were to take, for example, a shot with a hunting rifle right there, the bullet just might pass through the enemy right there, you might take unnecessary damage, you, even if you VATS him, sometimes the VATS just misses, you know, for no real reason. That's one of the big improvements of Fallout 4, and one of the, like, you could argue one of the only improvements. Depends on what you, there we go from behind. Depends on what you prefer in your Fallout games, whether it's the role-playing aspect, or whether it's the combat aspect, or whether it's, you know, the exploration aspect, whatever you like about Fallout. One of the big improvements of Fallout 4 is obviously the combat. A lot of people are sort of like, you know, the combat doesn't matter and I want role-playing, and obviously, you know, I like role-playing, you know, obviously I love role-playing, you know, in Fallout games. It's sort of bread and butter of Fallout, I would think. Well, some people just like the combat as well, you know, the perfect blend obviously would be like Fallout New Vegas with Fallout 3's combat. And actually, in that respect, you might consider Fallout 3 to be one of the weaker games in the series, because it has neither, essentially. So, that's that, but I'm really getting sort of lost here. I mean, like, where are the caves? The caves are supposed to be in the basement, but we are heading up top again. It's sort of a, I don't know, kind of a strange situation. Okay, so the objective marker was just completely wrong. We're supposed to go here, even though it's sending me essentially up top, which, yeah, there we go, the bio caves. And, okay, more ghouls, wonderful. But these ghouls, I mean, they look interesting, don't they? They have sort of a strange greenish-red blend, which, I mean, that just looks kind of unique, a very unique look to these ghouls. I like them. There's just so many of them. You could immediately see that the difficulty of the mod is slow, not even slowly. It's like the first mission we face, like, what, like maybe 3 to 4 turrets. Second mission, 70 ghouls, just casually, 70 ghouls. I mean, you can immediately see that this is getting really difficult very quickly. So I mean, I'm wearing a lot of armor obviously in the game, and the mod does give you power armor right at the beginning and power armor training. So if you actually don't want to go with the what's its face, you don't want to go with, for example, the Brotherhood of Steel, you could just, you know, download this mod and just do the first, the introductory mission when they immediately give you power armor training, and just be on your way, and then maybe return to do some of the quests later once you're ready for this sort of stuff, or just do the first 2 missions where you don't necessarily face anyone all that dangerous. And that's what you could do, potentially, just sort of exploit it a tiny bit, you know. It's not even exploiting, it's just like you take advantage of what they give you. But the Brotherhood of Steel questline isn't actually all that difficult, if you're willing to go with Hardren. It's, once you level up your science to a sufficient level, it takes you like 10 minutes to just completely, you know, finish everything, get power armor training, you know, at the cost of, you know, not being able to ally them. Oh, there we go, there's the Ancient, there's the Agent. The Ancient, lots of damage he does to me, lots of damage, but, well, once we clear up these ghouls, it's gonna be much easier, you know, much easier. So, immediately after, there we go, a single shot. Look, turns out he wasn't all that difficult after all. It's just that he had, well, stealth armor, which was broken, but, you know, still hard to see him. Ripper, everything like that. Yep. Let's continue on. Return to General Jameson, and that's exactly what we were gonna do. So immediately you can see, you know, 70 ghouls followed up by a stealth guy. It's not exactly the easiest time in the world. Oh, and I can hear a Vtuber landing, you know what that means.
Do you honestly think the fools in Henderson Bunker are the only ones who can track a Pip-Boy? We know you've been working with them. A foolish move which has made you a target. Prepare yourself.
So 50 ghouls followed by a stealth guy, followed by that one was actually rather weak. Okay, so maybe it's not actually all that difficult. Okay, never mind, there's more of them. That one just fell from the... Okay, and stay back. Stay back is probably the strongest perk if you... okay, apparently the most difficult thing is actually just walking upstairs. Jeez, okay. But, yeah, this one's a little bit more resilient. Let's see what he actually does. Okay, looks like nothing. Okay. The shotgun may be a bit too strong. Okay, I do agree that maybe the shotgun is a bit too strong, but okay, here we go. He's back with a vengeance, and let's try and take him down. Oh, he's a bit too close. Okay, yeah, you can immediately. There we go. You know, so he actually has some proper armor. You know, this is not a joke. Either of the Vats just completely missed him, or whatever. Let's just where did he go? Okay, let's try and knock him out again. Okay, shut the gun out of his hand again. Let's see what he does now. Oh, he's running for it. He's running for it. Where is he going? Where is he going? What a scary Enclave trooper. A scary Enclave trooper. Yeah, definitely powerful. But, yeah, towards the midpoint of the... Actually, this one's resilient. Oh, there we go. Tripped again. Man, you know... Once you get those perks, the shotguns are just a blast to use. But in the midpoint of the game, we're gonna have to face like well, we're gonna have to face like 80 of these fellas at the same time. So that's definitely not gonna be a laughing matter. But for the time being, we can just really simply just dismantle them. But you can immediately see, you know, they sent you into a facility which is located near one of the most dangerous places. Well, potentially one of the most dangerous places in the entire world. They have a Deathclaw there, all the Vipers there, all the Cazadors there. Then you have to face like a maze, which is potentially spooky. Then you have to go through like 50 ghouls. Then you have to face an agent. Then you have to face 3 Enclave troopers and power armor. It's, you know, and this is the second mission. This is the second mission they sent you on. So you can immediately see that, okay, more fellas, obviously. Yep, the fiends are here. So, not exactly the easiest thing out there. And I think if we were to go with just, I don't know, let's say you just pick like ED or Rex or something like that, and you're not necessarily prepared for this sort of mod, it, yeah, you'd get ripped to shreds quite swiftly. But, you know, all in the name of the United States, we're gonna have to do it for the Enclave to bring America back. Okay, let's go talk to the good general, and he's sleeping again. Every time I turn up, he's sleeping. I mean, no wonder the Richardson Elite's having so much success, right?
Yes, courier? You were attacked? That's worrying. They're growing bold. But excellent work on recovering the armor. We'll reverse engineer it and try to produce some for ourselves. Thank you, courier. I don't have any other assignments for you right now. Dismissed. Stay safe out there.
Alright, all in good time, but, yep, the stealth armor, the Dr. Strangelove should... Okay, so let's go talk to this Dr. Strangelove, which is a strange name for an Enclave scientist, or sort of the more military junta Enclave scientist. Oh, there we go. Sleeping again, okay, nothing useful here, so let's go talk to him, her, whatever.
Ah, Wastelander. I need your assistance on a fairly important task. With the recent developments, the General suggested we send out iBots as scouts, and to spread the word of the Enclave. However, all our iBots are in disrepair, I need you to find some blank robot programming disks on which we can program them. You will most likely find them at the old Roboco production facility. Here, on your Pit-Boy. Hurry. This is a rather important task.
You let the ghouls into the order of the Enclave, and suddenly you're not the Enclave anymore, you're the Enclave. So let's go for the Enclave. Okay, I guess we'll leave it off for here today, Kings. It's been a good run, but you can already see that the mod is definitely getting a bit more difficult. But we received some orders from the good doctor there, and we should be on our way. It's sort of interesting how similar the dynamic of this mod is to the previous mod in Fallout 4 that we played. Might be because the Fallout 4 modders got inspired by this mod. I wouldn't be all that surprised because this one came obviously a bit before that one was released. So yeah, it's you know, you have the good general, you have the good doctor, even though this one's a ghoul and doesn't really understand how to pronounce the Enclave yet. But you know, give her some time, and she's you know, she's trying her best. I mean, she's probably really working hard to bring back the good old US of A. But yeah, so there's that. Thanks, Kings, for watching, and see you next time.